Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning. Welcome to today's Shotsuki monthly memorial service. My name is Tom Hashimoto, and I'll be your chairperson for today. Reverend Fujimoto will read the names of those who have passed away in the month of October. Those observing the monthly memorial for loved ones, please come forward and offer incense.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? How about now? All right. Okay. We have a director in the back that is able to help us out. Okay. Nice to have everyone here, and it's always good to have our Shotsuki service at the first of the month, and having the Shotsuki families here. I try to look at the names and remind myself of who has passed away during this month, and who might be coming, and so it's a very connecting thing at a time, and I see the reflections in the families that are able to come and participate in this Shotsuki service. So as Tom explained, I'll read the names, the Shotsuki names, and you can come up and oshoko during the reading of the names. Okay. So these are the names for the month of October. Abe Mutsu, Akinaga Yun, Baba Fujiko, Hamasaki Seiji, Haramaki Shozo, Hasegawa Katsumi, Hashimoto Hiroshi, Hashimoto Robert, Hayashida Fujie, Hirai Misue Mary, Hines Charles Jr., Ideoka Takeshi, Inoue Miyoko, Inoue Natsuno, Ishida Infant, Ishida Masamitsu, Ishida Shunnichi, Ito Wakako, Iwahashi Minoru, Kakimoto Heijiro, Kakimoto Shigeo, Kakufuri Infant Amato, Kamada Asa, Kamiji Infant Sumiko, Kato Hisato, Kato Infant Hitoshi, Kawabuchi Hiroshi, Kitani Taeko, Koga Matao, Kono Carol, Kuge Isono, Kuji Kanmi, Kuramoto Kanji, Kuroki Sueko, Kuano Iwao, Matsuura Kumazo, Mikami Koshie, Mitsukawa Infant Tadashi, Mune Kazuye, Nakamura James, Nakamura Jinichi, Nakano Kazuo, Nakano Masao Fred, Nakaso Reiji, Narahara Isamu, Natsuhara Ritsuko, Nitahara Infant Shinobu, Nogita Toshio, Obana Setsuko, Ogawa Shozo, Oye Kimi Higashi, Okabe Henry, Okada Tsuya, Oki Infant Hideji, Okumura Yae, Omi Henry, Ozeki Akino, Pang Yonchan, Sadamori Mitsuko, Sakamoto Shigeto, Sekigahama Magoichi, Shibata Yoshimi, Shihira Infant Megan, Shimono Makoto, Sugino Hideko, Suiko John, Suzawa Kazuye, Takagi Yumi, Takara Nui, Takayama Yukie, Takemoto Infant Sonae, Takeshita Shiro, Takishita Infant Henry, Taniguchi George, Tomine Susumu, Tomine Tomoe, Tsuchiya, Paula Bison, Wada, Kazuo, Yamagishi, Kikuko, Yamakami, Masae, Yamaguchi, Sono, Yamashita, Haruko, Yasuda, Ota, Louise, Yasuhiro, Naka, Yasutake, Tosaku, Yonekura, Satoshi. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of October. If there are additions or corrections, please notify the office.
We will now have Sambujo on pages 24 and 25, followed by the reading of the Hyobyakumon, purpose of the service.
Today, on the occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of October, members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namu Kie Butsu, Namu Kie Ho, Namu Kie Soul. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nambutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Now we will have sutra chanting Amida Kyo on page 103.
長老各役位根言ルリアリ社交釈証明の二言直視地球連携大名者人常識証拠公式用語釈式釈語略式略語微妙高血者利法国ら国土空毒将軍武者利法理部国土調査天学王軍二次昼夜六時自由曼荼羅家報国修上上位上太白衣英国上修行家不要他法十万六仏即義地伝統本国本地教業シャリ法国ら国土長寿尿税空力将軍物資シャリ法国上部修十奇妙雑式市長学校空弱シャリカリョピンガグミョシチョ聖書修上長夜六時水和デオン高音年長高根合力七五大軍八正道軍行政東方合同修上本税四二開実年仏年法年書シャリ法尿祭り市長実税祭王将少々医者が二部国道部三幕州シャリ法五部国道総務三幕道市病華教実税書修長大勢阿弥陀仏力量法安全流演芸少佐シャリ法義部国土利福水道小五十九法ラボ水味妙法二妙百千十学当時空差門税四社大事年上念仏年法年相死心シャリオ大部国土長寿尿税空力将軍アマンダブアマンダアマンダアマンダ
Please stand for the Gatha We Are One on page 150 of the White Book, and remain standing for the reading of the three treasures on page 8 of the Purple Book.
switch books, please. Purple book, page 8. Three treasures, number 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we're able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Please be seated.
Now, Reverend Fujimoto will share a Dharma message with us.
Namanda, namanda, namanda. Okay, nice to be here. It's been a busy weekend. There's Buddhist Churches of America Federation, a Buddhist Women's Association. The FBWA is having their conference this weekend. So a few of us who are usually here are there. They went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So today is the closing service over there. I think they moved from the Doubletree Hotel to the San Jose Betsuine, and they'll have their Sunday service together over there. And it's very nice to be there yesterday. People from all over the Buddhist Churches of America, and I'm not sure how many people. There may have been 35 banquet tables of 10, so 350 people or so. So quite a few, and it's the first time they had a live in-person conference since 2018, before the pandemic. So it's just nice to see people, that many people, and they're coming from all over, reacquainting yourselves. And so not only to learn a little bit more about Buddhism, but to share stories and connections, family connections with each other. So if in the future you have a chance to be there, then you could have service with them instead of listening to me, right? So it's a nice opportunity to go over there and make friends again. So I really appreciate it. So much effort goes in to put that on, but it's a very special occasion. So today I have a talk on one of our Jataka tales, and I've shared this story before, and it's the story of the Monkey King. So it's a really nice story. So I enjoy sharing this story on occasion. And Jataka tales are a collection of stories and fables that teach Buddhist lessons. Okay, so the main character of the story is Shakyamuni Buddha in a previous life of his. Okay, so the stories would often begin with the sentence, once Shakyamuni Buddha was a rabbit, or once when Shakyamuni Buddha was a deer, and it would go on like this. And it is thought that way back when, the Indian people thought that it'd be impossible for someone to gain enlightenment in just one lifetime. So they must have had previous lifetimes where they practiced the teachings of the Buddha, the teachings of the Dharma, okay? So many lifetimes, and so they had these other lives as other entities, okay? So, so this is how they thought after years of previous lives, gaining merit, becoming better, improving themselves, slowly evolving into an enlightened being, okay? So some of the Jataka tales were from old Indian fables, and you might hear the story, and it's something similar that you heard in Aesop's fables or something, right? They use Aesop's fables even in cartoon stories, right? And so you'll see this connection throughout the history of the world, that this story appears and reappears somewhere else. So in old Chinese stories, folk tales from Japan, you'll hear similar stories that may have originated as Jataka tales. Okay, so in the Theravada tradition, they say there's about 540 Jataka stories, and usually the main part of the story is teaching us to be unselfish, to be compassionate. Okay, so this is like the main teaching of many of the Jataka stories, and we learn the character and the qualities of the Buddha, and how it is beneficial to live a Buddhist life, okay? Ideals. And in a lot of the stories, they're not just for children, they're talking about sacrifice, humans sacrificing their lives, sacrificing their limbs, maybe giving an arm to another being, a tiger or something like this. So they're not just cute children's stories. So sometimes, I don't know if I can share a story like this, So it makes you think twice. So with that background, we've also started our Buddhist Education Committee fall classes. Okay, so just last Thursday, we had the first class, and the next 3 more Thursday evenings, we're going to have classes for this edition of the fall classes from the Buddhist Education Committee. And so in the fall classes, we're looking at the Nembutsu path of Shin Buddhism, the Shin Buddhist approach to the Dharma, okay? And so in Shin Buddhism, it's not just to improve the self, but to see our limitations, the limitations of human beings, and limitations of our self-centeredness and our ego. And so as we recognize this, we learn just how deeply entrenched our ego self-centeredness is. Okay, so we notice this in our own beings. So we want to learn how to get beyond this ego-centeredness, right? Even in our 3 treasures, one of the main lines, we read this pretty much every week, right? Freed from the bondage of selfishness. So the selfishness, the self-centeredness causes problems and suffering in our own lives, in our communities, in our sanghas, all over. And so when we recognize this, we are able to open to this infinite compassion that we are calling is Amida. Okay, so we read this every single week. So the Nembutsu path is different than older Buddhism, radically different, and we should know that. Okay, we should be able to see that. We should be able to recognize that difference. Okay, as we stop being so self-centered, we are open to this infinite reality, and this infiniteness, this wisdom enters us. We don't get wiser and wiser, smarter and smarter, better and better. We open ourselves, stop being so self-centered, and this enters. Amida enters. Okay. Now I'll tell the story and see if you could tell the difference. Notice the distinction. Okay. So once Shakyamuni Buddha was a monkey king. Okay. Once upon a time, in a forest in the Himalaya mountains, the Buddha, as the monkey king, he had 80,000 followers. All these monkeys looked to him as the king of their whole community. Okay, so this monkey king was wise. He was very strong and very considerate. Okay, so everyone, all the monkeys respected him very, very much. So one time they're on the bank of the river that runs through the forest, and there's a big, big mango tree that they enjoyed. Okay, large, plump mangoes grow from this tree every year, and so the mangoes were very sweet and juicy and just big. So all the monkeys loved to get them, and so the king was eating one of the delicious monkeys, and he saw a mango fall into the river. So he went over close to the riverbank and got the one that was floating downstream. Okay, so he thought if the mangoes float downstream, then the humans down the river, they're going to find them, and then they're going to want all these mangoes, and they're going to come up here and cause a problem. They're going to take all the mangoes. So the wise king told all the other monkeys, alerted them, watch the mangoes carefully. Don't drop them in the river. If you find mangoes growing on a branch close to the water, pick them earlier so they don't fall into the river. So trying to be very careful. The whole community's trying to be very careful so none of these giant mangoes are floating down towards the humans that live downstream. Okay. So one of them did fall. Big, big mangoes, like Momotaro's story, okay? Huge mangoes floating down, and the human king was down there enjoying the water, maybe bathing in the river, and he found the giant mango floating down towards him. So he goes, whoa. So he picks up this big mango and he tasted it. Oh, it's really, really delicious, so sweet. And he ordered his servants, okay, go up the river. There must be more. I want to find the source of these mangoes. So he ordered his men to go up the river. And up the stream, they found this giant mango tree. But they also found all the monkeys jumping around from branch to branch and screaming. And the king told his archers to go up there. This is my land. The tree is mine. Kill all the monkeys. Take all the mangoes. This is our land. So now the monkeys are in a panic, and they're running and screaming and trying to hide, just scared and jumping from branch to branch. Some of them are not being able to reach the branch they're jumping for, so they're falling down. Others are getting hit by arrows, and they're falling down. And it's just a terrible scene for the monkeys. And the Monkey King was watching all of this, trying to stay calm, seeing what's happening, seeing what he could do. And he told them, don't worry, I'll save you. Follow me, follow me. And so he went to the edge of the bank of the river, and they had to get to this other side. It's a little bit hard. And so he stretched himself to the edge of the cliff on the other side, and he stretched his body as far as he could reach. He said, climb over the back of my back and run to freedom. So 80,000 monkeys running across the Monkey King. Okay, and because he sacrificed his body, they all made it to safety. And the human king is watching what was happening. Okay, and he was amazed. He saw the Monkey King as being so considerate, looking after all his followers, thinking of them. Okay, so the Monkey King is thinking of his troops, his soldiers, his families first. Okay, and this made the human king feel very, very ashamed. He was thinking only of his own benefit. He wanted that tree. He wanted that property. He wanted all the mangoes. Kill the monkeys. We don't need them. All we want is the prize, right? So compared to the Monkey King, he was very, very selfish. So he went over and helped the Monkey King and helped him to get better, over a couple weeks or something, getting a little bit better and treating him well and talking to him too. And so he began to think of his own people's happiness and to rule the country in a friendly manner, a considerate manner, like the Monkey King did. And as he tried to do this, he became very happy. His own people became very happy. So he was emulating the Monkey King that taught him this very valuable lesson. Okay? So in the story, the Monkey King was wise, considerate, smart, and he watched everything that was going on, tried to do what was best for all of his followers. He didn't just look out for himself. He wanted to help them all so that they could be safe, so that they could be well. Okay? So now, with that story, we come back to the fall classes, and the human king admired those qualities of the Monkey King, and he wanted to have those same qualities. He wanted to emulate the Monkey King. Okay? This is like the monks wanting to be like Shakyamuni, emulating Shakyamuni, following his same behavior, following his teaching to a T. You know, I want to be like Mike, right? I want to be like Shakyamuni. So they tried to do this, right? And this would be like our learning the 6 paramitas, and I want to follow the 6 paramitas and practice to develop the qualities of a Buddha. Okay? So, but when we do it in that manner, we're doing this practice to improve our own selves, to live a better life, to earn praise from others. So, is this awakened awareness? Is this enlightenment that we want to come to? And Shinran is saying no. So even though we're trying to get better, it's still ego-driven, something that I want. I want to be better. I want to be enlightened. I want to be a Buddha. So it's still, even though we're working on goodness, a better character, certain qualities, it's still self-centered, right? So the ego is still intact. And so Shinran Shonin is telling us, see how deep our self-centeredness is. This is why they put it in this book, and we read it every week, okay? So when we see that even these efforts to do good and to be good are still ego-driven, then we can see how deeply entrenched, right? And you hear often the ego is like trying to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, right? And it can't be done. Pulling up on the sides of your shoes, your cowboy boots, you can't pick yourself up, right? You could put on your shoes, but you can't pick yourself up. Okay? It just won't work. Your own self-effort has a limitation. And this is the teaching that Shinran is teaching that is different from other forms, earlier forms of Buddhism, where they're trying to emulate and be like Mike, be like Buddha, okay? So in Shinran's teachings, this infinite reality, this Dharma body, Amida, this is where we are from. We're from this reality. We're a part of this Dharma body, okay? So because of that, we recognize it. We feel a resonance when we chant, when we say Namo Amida Butsu. We sense this connectedness. You know, it's hard to comprehend, hard to let go of ego, but we sense this. This is why we feel comfortable when we come to service. We want to be with others here. We want to say the Nembutsu. We want to chant together, okay? And so this connectedness of I and other is recognized, and we come back to it. We return to it, okay? So once this recognition takes place, the ego is cracked, okay? And this allows other-centered, Amida-centered perspective to enter and to grow and to grow. So this is a process in Shin Buddhism, different from other forms of Buddhism. So we are progressing as we recognize our ego and open ourselves. But this progression is incomplete. It continues and continues till we die. Okay, so Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Fujimoto, for the message. Let's see. Now, please stand for the Gatha Ondoku-san on page 220 of the Purple Book.
Wrong song.
Sorry, my bad. I thought it was Nembutsu too, and I think that's not right. It's
Different version of
different version. Yeah. Ondoku-san 2. Ah. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Here we go.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, Sailor.
Oh. So, that's the end of the service. Thank you for those who helped with the altar preparations. Let's see. Thank you, Reverend Dennis. Thank you to the YouTube crew, Maria and Brian in the back. The altar flowers were done by Jackie, Dorothy, and Lenny. Doug Dorr was the guest DJ for this week. And thank you to all that brought refreshments for the monthly memorial. Are there any newcomers here today that want to be recognized? No. Okay. So here are the announcements. Next Sunday, October 13th, is the family service and birthday Sunday. Also, there will be an Abwa meeting after the service. Sunday, October 20th, will be the Abwa Ladies of the Dharma and Late Abwa Members Memorial Service. The guest speaker will be Reverend Elaine Donlan, minister's assistant of the Buddhist Church of San Francisco. Okay, Abwa annual food drive is still continuing from now until December 31st. Monetary donations only, no food donations this year. You can donate online to the Alameda Community Food Bank or write a check to Abwa and it will be divided equally between the Alameda County and Alameda City food banks. I think we have one more announcement from Maria.
Hello, everyone. This year, the Abwa Memorial Luncheon will be taking place at Spijsekamer at noon after the service on the 20th. So it is going to be a family-style luncheon with vegetarian and non-vegetarian options. To RSVP, please contact me. You can also email me or call or text. So if you have not gotten the email, please come see me today. Thank you. Oh, deadline to RSVP is next week. it's coming up really quickly. So next week at noon.
I was asked to share this from Koichi Mizushima, BYR and Friends, a Buddhist Youth Retreat and Friends. So there's a fall mini retreat and geared towards high school, college age. Everyone is welcome, and November 29th through December 1st. So it's a weekend at the Jodo Shinshu Center, and we might have a couple people who are of the age to go to this retreat, and it's kind of lots of activities and nice way to meet other people from all over Buddhist Churches of America. So not just the Bay District. So and Koichi has a lot of positive energy that he is able to share with this group. So I think I placed one over here in the social hall, and if you're interested, you can let me know and we could find out more about it, okay? And one final thing for Shotsuki, we have these tables here that are short black tables, and the one that's a little bit taller, someone uncovered it, and it was sitting in the social hall for about 5-6 months or so, and it had one loose leg, and it was kind of beat up and stuff, and I thought that would be nice if it looked better. And I thought, finally, finding time to work on it, and I think I'll fix the leg and I'll paint it. So I thought I'd paint it and we could use it, and it looks nice. People always bring special treats, and to be able to put them up there. So using my sensei skills, I was painting this little table. So I finished the larger table and I put it up there, and the shorter tables, there's 2 of them, and they'd been here for a long, long time. So when I put the shiny table next to the other table, the older table looked bad because it was all beat up in comparison. So now I got to paint the little ones too. So there are 2 more tables to paint. But finally, my little project is done, and I'm happy with how it comes out. So you can be happy to put your foods here when you come to Shotsuki service, and not just where it looks nice in the social hall, okay? We have a nice setting for the tables and the treats that are brought here. So kind of patting myself on the back, but it was a good story. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for attending this morning's service. You can now come up and offer incense, and then join us in the social hall for refreshments.